Today we're going to talk about exponents. We have this big page of notes with lots of different rules for exponents, but let's start with just the basics. So you may have seen exponents before. Basically, it's a big number called a base with a little number written up to the right of it like a superscript called an exponent. Sometimes you'll also see people use the word power to also talk about an exponent. So what that means, it doesn't mean x times y. It actually means x times itself, y times. So what that means is, like, for example, number 1 right here, we have 4 to the third power. That means we're going to multiply 4 times itself 3 times. And you could use a calculator for this if you're looking for the actual answer of 4 times 4 times 4, or you can do like 4 times 4 is 16 times 4 again would give us 64. So it just depends on what the directions are asking for. Do they want you to write it out the long way, or do they want you to get an actual answer? So for number 2, this is really important. You can see that number 2 and number 3 look very similar, except the number 3 has parentheses and number 2 doesn't. We actually did an example like this when we did our multiplying and dividing integers notes, so you probably already know what the difference between these two problems are. But remember that an exponent only goes with the thing it's right next to. So in number 2, the exponent 2 only touches the 3. But in example 3, the exponent of 2 touches the parentheses, which means everything in the parentheses will be squared. So number 2 says the opposite of 3 times 3. Since the 2 is only touching the 3, we're only doing the 3 twice, not the negative twice. So negative 3 times 3 would be negative 9 for my answer to that. And for number 3, since the 2 is touching the parentheses, that means every single thing in the parentheses is being squared. So that one has negative 3 squared, which is negative 3 times negative 3, which is 9. I'm going to write it up here so I don't run out of space. Let me circle some answers. I love circling answers. And then look at the number 4 example, right, with exponents. So we have 2 constants. We have 4 a's, the variable a, and we have 2 b's. So we're going to write all of the 3's together, all of the a's together, and all of the b's together. And to do that, it's going to look like this. We have 2 3's, so we have 3 squared. That means 3 times itself twice. And then we have 4 a's. This means a times itself 4 times. And we have 2 b's. This means b times itself twice. Now, we don't have to put any multiplication symbols in there because those would look like the variable x. And we don't need to put any dots in there. When you see variables just written next to each other, that means to multiply. And the number out in front, we've already learned, means that it is a coefficient. That's what we call the number in front of a variable. So let me circle this answer, and that is the very first basic explanation of exponents for you.